Hi guys, and today in this presentation I will introduce a story, a whistleblower story, and her name is Karen Silkwood. Based on her story, a movie was created and many books are created was written. And first, let me show you a trailer of this movie.
I want you doing this.
I'm doing it.
Meryl Streep, Kurt Russell, and Cher in Silkwood.
There was contamination in our fiction. They're saying that you did it. I just hate people talking about me that way.
Rachel. Silkwood.
You're trying to kill me.
Rated R. Now playing at a selected theater near you.
And this movie was talked about the Silkwood, the Karen Silkwood stories. She exposed the very the healthy issues in the nuclear industries, the employees, the working condition for the employees. And this is a real photo about the Karen Silkwood. She was born in February 1946 and is an American laboratory technician, an activist who tried to expose safety violation and negligence at the Kermagee nuclear facility, but she died in a mystery car crash before giving the evidence to a New York Times reporter, and her death drew attention to the danger of the nuclear power industry, and this has not been mentioned by many people before this and had little known widespread impact. She later became a heroine in most people's eyes, and, her story was made into movies and Meryl Streep playing the character. Silkwood works at a in Carnegie Company in Oklahoma in 1972. This is the beginning of her protest. In that year, the Silkwood joined the local workers' union and went on strike at the Kimaki factory. She later became a member of the union negotiation committee, and she was the first woman to serve on this position. And since taking this position, she had found a number of health code violations. On the list, she found the factory lacked adequate shower facilities that made two cramped bathrooms for around 70 people to use. This will increase the risk of contamination for employees, and the long working hour at this factory will also increase the risk of infection by dangerous chemical pollution. Silkwood testified with two other union members at an Atomic Energy Commission in Washington, D.C. after discovering this number of safety problems. But like many other whistleblowers, she was seen by the factory as a threat and a nuisance, and she had received a many death violation. But just this is the beginning initial of her protest. Conditions at the factory did not get better, and in October things got more worse. Three times she was found to have the trace of radium on her body. The trace of the contaminated plutonium were detected not only on the surface of her skin, but also on her nose mucus. In the same time, because of her aggressive attitude of the company's bad environment, the company's management board suspect that she had stolen the chemical plutonium to get sick. She could prove her point, but we can see this is just a rumor. On November 11, she was sent to the Los Alamos National Laboratory for tests because her health would just get worse and worse. Well, she was found, but in that place, she was found the acceptable level of radium in her body. Is this the truth? It's not. On November 13, Silkwood Planner took all the information and leads she knew to a meeting at Oklahoma City. She wanted to meet a journalist from the New York Times to tell him what she knew and put the chemical worker safety issue to the public eyes. However, that in the same day, the Silkwood was found that he died in a mystery car crash on the road. And during the autopsy, the scientists showed that the Silkwood body had 400 times more plutonium pollution than the average person could handle. This may indicate that the previous inspection data may have been modified by some people. After her death, her family took the company to the court. The family was awarded 10.5 million in 1979, but the ruling was overturned and the money reduced to 5,000. But this case was not closed until 1986. When the two sides reached a settle outside the court, the company was ordered to pay 1.2 million to Silkwood side. But before this time, in 1976, the factory was closed. Apart from her protest against chemical pollution, people always has been discussed about her mystery car accident. Her carried important document we all know that which could prove the harsh condition and toxic metal leak in the factory, and went to a meeting in the hotel in Oklahoma, and she will meet with journalist from New York Times, David Daniel Braham. But there was a terrible accident on Highway 79 that day, not far from the factory, and Silkwood died in this suspicious car crash. She had important paper with her, but when her boyfriend and the journalist picked up the car, there were no hit there. They found nothing. Because the autopsy showed alcohol and sleeping pill in her blood and stomach, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol ruled that Silkwood had fallen asleep at the wheel and caused the car wheel off the highway, drift off the road to her death. However, when the American Automobile Workers Association learned that the missing folder, they hired auto accident expert A.L. Pipkin. He's a former police officer in New Mexico, came to check for violation evidence. On November 19, the expert published the announcement. According to the evidence, he found there was another car forced Silkwood off the road. The factory was closed a year after Silkwood's death, and then some evidence emerged to prove Silkwood's claim. According to Time magazine, Westinghouse Electric, which had been buying the Fuelwood, complained about the poor quality of this and refused to renew the contract with Kirkmacky. Looking now, the current Silkwood is a nuclear protest person. Although her death is still a mystery, if her death was real, really because someone want her to remain silent, they will just want the chemical issue would not be known. But Silkwood still won. She issued a clear warning to the nuclear industry. The working environment of workers and dangerous emerging sources need to be strictly monitored. Thank you. And this is the reference list. All the information appeared in my presentation was from those articles and news. Thank you.